Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again in this YouTube astrological segment. I'm going to be talking about and really sharing some thoughts on the Goat of Astrology. GOAT would stand for Greatest of All Time. And of course, this is very subjective, and what inspired me to do this was the fact that somebody, a very loyal, steadfast fan of my astrology videos, I had put something on my Twitter. I guess it was a comment on Twitter, not Twitter. I'm sorry, TikTok. On one of my TikTok videos, and said the goat, referring to me, which is very nice and everything. Naturally, I don't really perceive myself as the goat of astrology, but it's nice that somebody would say that. It may be just a little bit egotistical, maybe for anyone in general to just figure, well, they're the goat of astrology because you have so many branches and nuances that are associated with the subject. But there are, a number of people, there's a plethora of astrologers out there that are really very good at what they do. I did a video on, the top 10, what I thought were the top 10 YouTube astrologers. So naturally I picked, a supreme one. But, we all bring, our own, gifts and abilities into what we're doing. And if I was to, again, going back to the fact that if I was to say I was the best or greatest or something, I think there would be some people out there that may have an issue. That people, very renowned astrologers, such as Robert Hand or Stephen Forrest. We have, great YouTube astrologers like the Leo King and Michael Nebb, aka the Peace Stealer, Patrick Arundel, as some other examples. Marin Altman is a tremendous, video YouTube astrologer. She does a lot of, she emphasizes a lot of her videos on, like I think it's like cryptocurrency, and many of us bring our own, unique gifts into what we do. And when I do, like my videos, I try to be, analytical and detail oriented. Taurus rising can be surprisingly articulate and analytical. I think, a lot of the, verbal ability comes from my moon and Gemini, but there's so many other things that, may be connected with that as well. But I just, really, the thing about this one, we talk about, the greatest of, all time, and you also have different, something else. Look at the best. There could be actually a difference between the best of all time and greatest of all time. You look at, peeps. So the greatest of all time could be, somebody that did, accomplish, the most in what they do, and the best of all time could be defined as the quality of that person, of that astrologer. So that's something else that needs to be, that's why it becomes very subjective. If somebody even wants to try to ascertain who, is the best at what they're doing. But the fact that anybody wants to mention me in those names, with other, these, with these really, great, astrologers, it's really an honor for that, and I do appreciate that. My main, the purpose is, to bring out the information for others astrologically, so others can assimilate it and gain information from what I'm bringing, and they could become more learned in astrology with Edwin Learnard. So that's really, my main purpose anyway. And any accolades or recognition or notoriety, that would be secondary, and that comes as well, with what you're doing. And anybody, I think almost everybody would be lying if they said, well, they didn't like, certain attention. It's good to get attention, but the main thing is to bring, get people to, see your videos and to learn something from them. Because if people are not learning from what I'm bringing out, then I'm not really doing, what I feel, my purposes. I have the North Node in Pisces in the 11th house, so a lot of that is tied into what I'm doing with the astrology. I mean, Pisces can be about videos, and the 11th house is connected with astrology, so it's really, I feel as if I'm fulfilling that North Node, mission and purpose, the destiny that's connected with it. Having, doing the videos on astrology. Or another way of looking at it is that Pisces is connected with the metaphysical, which includes astrology, and the 11th house is social media and the internet. So no matter how you look at it, it does seem to manifest in those ways for me, and I was really meant to do what I'm doing. There's other indicators in my chart as well for that, but I would like to say, we all, all this astrologers out there, whether YouTube astrologers or people that are just doing this, say, just doing reports for people, we all have, those certain gifts that we bring. There's some, astrologers out there that might be, more charismatic and dynamic. They have a very good, personality. They're very captivating. They're able to draw people and entice their fans. When I do my, astrology videos, many of you may know, I'm very, conservative and conventional. A lot of that, I think, is attributed to me having Taurus rising and Saturn conjunct the ascendant in my chart. There's people out there that are able to, they specialize in certain branches. Like I was talking about Marin Altman before, having, where she focuses a lot of her videos being connected with cryptocurrency. You have people that are into meteorology, astrology, transits, the futuristic astrology, the mundane astrology. There's so many, different branches and nuances of astrology. It'd be virtually impossible for anybody to assimilate all the information that is connected, with the subject. And, the thing is, and that's why, again, it does reiterate what I was saying before. It makes it very difficult to ascertain who is actually, the best, whether it's astrologer or YouTube astrologer. But if I could be mentioned in the same breath, as a number of those, these people that are practically legendary, YouTube, regular astrologers, that's all fine and everything. And it's definitely, I feel honored if there's some people out there that actually, believe that, and it's, I do feel privileged in that. My viewership may indicate otherwise, but everything, not everything is about the views you get. It's about what the reality actually is. I think, my views may have diminished to some degree. Maybe because some people have seen what I'm doing as monotonous. It could be also attributed to the fact that I have my comments disabled, and people may be somewhat rebuffed by that, so they just said, okay, we're not going to watch them anymore. But the way I look at it, those weren't true fans anyway. If somebody just wanted to boycott the ship just because you don't have your comments enabled, they weren't really, and those people were not ones to worry about. They weren't really true fans of your videos to begin with. So it just really, what it comes down to is you have, so many people out there, that are doing, astrology, whether it's YouTube videos, whether it's just, doing charts for others. And they're all, a lot of them do, very impactful toward other people's lives. And the main thing is, if people that are doing it, and they're doing it for the right reasons to help others. If you're like somebody that's doing, YouTube, astrology videos, or you want to embark on, so you could say a YouTube astrology career, and your main focus is gaining, notoriety, accolades, and recognition, then obviously, that's not going to be a good thing, because what's going to happen is people will see what you're doing, and they're gonna be cognizant of that, and that could actually detract viewership when they realize that maybe you're just doing it just for yourself, basically, and you're not there to actually help other people, which really should be the primary thing. Views will come naturally. If you're a quality astrologer, those views are going to, at some point, they will accumulate. It may be a very methodical process, but you will at some point get all of them. But the thing about it is, it's just it's important to just keep in mind, just to, if you're going to be doing these videos, just need to remain reticent, humble, not get caught up in anything. It's nice to get compliments and hear positive things about about yourself, and people lauding you and saying, you're one of the better, YouTube or internet astrologers out there, and that's all fine. And we all, hey, I embrace it, these things when people say positive things, especially considering my life, which has an abundance of negativity in it. But just don't get too caught up in it, and get too big for your bridges, and you would be somebody, that actually could be really good, one of the better, whether it's a YouTube astrologer or, whether it's just regular astrologers. So that's really what I wanted to get at as far as this video goes. And anyway, people, that will conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, Edwin Learnard saying, stay well.